So people caught this, whatever this is, in front of their driveway.
What's the video
And
name?
this was
the title so that people can watch.
The title is called "Has the Dobby Mystery Been Solved?" And this was from 3 years ago.
It's the creepy video that freaked everyone out.
I'm honestly just kind of scared.
The creature was captured back.
I seen people saying that they were
That's
saying
a kid though. Sound look like a kid.
it's kind of skinny, huh?
Not human, wrote one mystified observer.
Somebody, I forgot who said that. They were like, you can't recreate this. Somebody was saying this movements you can't recreate or something like that.
What do you mean?
A skinny kid wearing
it's a skinny
on
ass.
his head.
Oh yeah, it probably is a kid.
In the driveway after watching
this
video
that kid.
right now. Vivian Gomez owns the house where the video was shot.
Yeah,
this is Bobby, her 9-year-old son.
Oh yeah, look how skinny
He's
he
about
is.
the same height as the creature in the video. So could
yeah.
Bobby be Dobby?
Bobby, was that you in the video?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Definitely.
He has an alibi.
That's
His mom. They say they were inside the house watching TV when the creature chicken
at
danced
first
down
it
the
looks,
driveway at 9 p.m. at night.
At first it looks
Still,
like alien-wise, but...
You sure you don't dance with underwear on your head down the driveway at night?
I'm sure.
Our number one suspect is pointing the finger at his friend Montana, the proverbial girl next door.
She does it better.
No way it was me, says
And
Montana.
that fool's moving his
Bobby with underwear on his head.
You think it's Bobby?
Yeah, it's the little kid. It's the little kid. At first I thought...
I have some underwear.
At first I thought, like, oh, for sure.
Shall we?
I thought it was an alien or some shit like that.
All right, let's see it.
Here's Bobby doing the chicken dance on a night
that's
vision
definitely
camera.
him.
And here he is, side by side with the creature. So, was it Bobby?
Bobby,
Yeah, it was him.
I am not the one in the video.
Because if he was a different figure, then obviously, yeah. If he was a little bit bigger, then obviously, but...
I watched, you know how when you go down like ghost story shit on YouTube?
The rabbit hole of ghost stories?
Sometimes this shit spooks me when I start seeing shit. Like, especially cameras of people at work just sitting down, like, at the end of the day, and then the chair opens up. And, like, that type of shit's scary when you see shit like that.
I think I don't really get scared about the ghost videos anymore. I mean, it used to like do something to me. It used to be kind of creepy, but now I don't really do anything to me. I can't remember when's the last video I watched that was like scary, because a lot of them look like they look fake, or they're easy. Like there's always something that brings the video down, whether it be the quality or the acting or something like that.
Have you seen the new trailer for that Exorcist shit movie?
No.
You haven't seen it?
There's a new one coming out?
Well, I just seen an ad for it the other day, and the kid, it's like, I think it's the same people that made the, I'm not sure 100%, but from what I seen, it's like, oh, they're trying to recreate the Exorcist, the original one with the ugly ass girl.
Yeah.
That shit's scary.
I never watched The Exorcist. I watched only pieces of it, but I've never sat there and watched the whole thing.
Me either. But
I think that's
that little
movie.
piece of it, just of her talking.
Mm-hmm.
That shit I think is scary.
I think there was like some about the girl who played her. I think there was some shit going on when they were filming that shit. Not like paranormal, but like something. I don't know if they were like, I don't want to say, well, that's because I don't really know. I might be wrong, but I don't know if they were abusing her in some type of way.
In real life?
Yeah, for the movie or some shit like that. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I heard something like that when it came to that. But I think the Exorcist is probably one of the scariest movies ever, right?
I think for me, yeah, because remember those, they have these videos where you're watching, and then they have those jump scares where that girl comes out and like scares you. That shit's scary. Because I remember, I forgot where I watched one, how I stumbled to one or somebody showed me it. And that shit, it's like internal fear when I see that shit. Because it's like, I don't know what it is about it that actually feels like demonic. Whatever they did to her face, as far as like
her voice.
Oh
like
yeah,
her voice is hella bad.
It just somehow
What? My friend at Northern Concrete, he would do her voice. And even when he mimicked, he would do it so like spot on. When he would mimic her voice, it would kind of like creep me out a little bit. And he was so good at it. And I would just like imagine if you're in a dark room and he starts talking like that. That should be scary.
But why is it that your body? Why is it naturally that your body is scared of that?
Of a certain voice.
That sound, that frequency, that pitch of that specific voice, when you can tell it's evil, huh? Like you, for whatever reason, your body knows that's not good over there.
I don't know. Maybe it's based on horror movies or things that you've heard in the past that are related to scary moments and stuff like that. Because when you think of something scary, you think of something that's gonna talk differently in a crazy voice, and it's gonna look crazy. So you just by the voice alone, I think it was pretty scary.
Yeah, I don't like. Well, you know how people say, "Yo, let's go." Like I like being scared. You know how people say that. I like watching scary movies. I like being scared. I like roller coasters, all that shit. I don't fuck with any of that shit. Like the scary movies, none of them have been scary. They're all trash. The actors are trash. The ones that I've seen, it's
Yeah,
like,
well, it seems like when's the last scary movie that came out that we were actually scared? Like the only thing I could think of is Paranormal Activity, the first one. And some people, I remember when that happened, when I watched that, and I went to school and I told everybody about like, hey, have you seen Paranormal Activity? That shit's scary. People are like, I seen it. That shit wasn't even scary. That shit was nothing. So I don't know if they were being truthful or they were just like, because I told them that shit was scary. I remember that shit being scary. I thought that shit was real.
I thought that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought that shit was 100% real, and they just somehow they captured it and they put it out. That's what I mean, if I would have been, because now I don't believe anything. Anything that anybody shows me, I don't believe it. Like when it's like
when it comes to paranormal stuff,
when it comes to paranormal shit,
aliens,
everything, all that shit. I feel like there's always a play. There's always a avenue that some money wise, somebody's trying to do something either for recognition, attention, or money. And so I'm like, I'm always the type to just not believe it until it's 100% proven. Ghost Mythbusters type shit, where like people try to recreate it, and like, oh yeah, we can't recreate it, or they analyze the video and they say, oh yeah, this nothing's been tampered with type shit. That's when I'm like, okay, there's more credibility to it. But also, I can, not all the time, but sometimes I can tell just by listening to the person, like tell their story. Oh, this motherfucker full of shit. Like that. But sometimes you can feel like, oh, he whatever it is, this motherfucker believes 100% that he's seen what he's seen, even though he might have not seen what he saw.
Well, when it comes to that, right, you have to, the only way to truly believe it is for you to go, right? Because you would never believe it when it's on camera. So you would have to go with somebody that would be like, okay, you want to talk shit? I'll take you there. And then since you're not scared, we'll leave you in rooms alone. Or like, have you ever seen, I think it was like, what are the ghost hunters called? Ghost hunters, that's what they're called.
Yeah.
They would go into like old prisons, and it'd be hella big. And I imagine being in there by yourself. And I think they caught a kid's face in there or something like that.
On the camera?
On the camera
on the
or
heat
something like
signature,
that.
some shit.
And
Yeah, I remember at one of the episodes, what makes it believable sometimes that those ghost hunter guys, who knows? Because at the end of the day, it's a show, so they got to make it interesting. They got to make it spicy. But I remember one time in one episode, I think it was a few crew members that were fresh. They were just starting off. And then there was one that's been there for a long time. And they were upstairs in a building somewhere. And the guy felt someone tug at his shirt, and he got scared, and he started freaking out, and they started running. And this was early on in their setup, like they were just setting up or whatever. And they all started running, cameraman and everyone started running. And the head guy, the people were like, this hella unprofessional. He said, our client's still here. And you guys are running? That doesn't show like the quality
Of service.
yeah, this just shows we're not like he said they're gonna think we're not qualified to be
Well, if
doing
you're running, yeah.
if you're running because you're scared, because we're here to find proof, and if you're scared, then why are we even here?
Well, it would make it even worse, right? If you believe your place is haunted and you call somebody who is supposedly a professional and he comes and he leaves, like you ever seen, I don't remember the movies where pastors come into the house, kind of like Paranormal Activity, and they're like, no, we can't help you. That shit's scary. If it would happen in real life, like if you just believe like maybe this house is haunted. You know how sometimes a lot of people are like when they buy a new house, they want to bless the house. And depending on the religion, maybe they even bring like the pastor or the pastor gives you holy water, stuff like that. But imagine you believe in your house is haunted and you ask him to come and he comes and he says that. And you only believed a little bit because you're like, some odd things have happened, but I'm not sure it's paranormal activity. But just to make sure, and I'll bring him. And then he says that, it would increase your belief, huh? It would make you think like, nah, this shit really is haunted. Yeah. And it would scare you. The last movie I seen that I felt was good and was scary, it didn't terrify me or nothing, but the last movie I seen besides Paranormal Activity is The Babadook. Remember that? That was with the kid going crazy, remember?
Is that the one with the mom, the single mom?
Yeah, and that's that thing of, I remember like he had like the claws and shit, and he was like a shadow figure.
And he was on top of the
thing. It was about a book or something.
Oh yeah.
That was a good one. That was a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, another good one. That I was watching that is a little weird. Is The Witch. That one, like old one. It's about like I think I don't know where it takes place, but it was back then, way back then, and it's about farmers, and they lose their baby, and they start blaming it on one of the kids, and then their crops stop growing, so they believe like the gods are upset at them or something like that. And just the whole tone of the movie, that's just dark. There's like the type of shit where you go into the woods and you see a ring of naked women across the fire doing like chants and shit. And that shit has always been creepy. That shit would scare me in real life. Like if I'm hunting or if I'm in the woods, especially by myself, and I come across a circle of motherfuckers and they're all butt naked and they're chanting weird shit I don't understand, that shit would be scary.
Yeah. I always ask people who hunt, like, hey, you're not scared to be in the woods by yourself? And they're like, nah. And I'm like, I don't know what it is about just being away from the city. Like when you're out in the woods, you're by yourself and it's like anything can happen. That's when you start thinking about all these. You ever watch Mr. Ballin videos where he tells you about people who mysteriously disappear?
Yeah, and I watched a lot of them.
And then you never know what the hell happened. They don't never seen again. And it's like a good amount of times it's in the woods. And I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not never going in the woods. Sometimes I do be like, man, it'd be nice to, because the stars, that's the only reason why I'll ever be in the woods. Is so I can, because the stars will be a lot more visible and than it would be in the city. So that's the only reason why I'd be out there. But even then, like, I don't know.
But maybe you're scared of the woods because you didn't grow up around it. So like a lot of people like in Mississippi, remember how it was all woods and it'd be dark? I remember when we would go take the trash, we would fill up the car with trash, right? And the person who would drive us there, he had like a little, I don't know what you call it, something that you attach to the back. You know how like you could attach this little like metal piece that's black and you attach to the back of the car, so you can put like a cooler or something on there. You can put trash on there, and because he had already filled it on the inside. So then I was like, I'll go in the back and I'll sit so I can grab the extra bag so it don't fly off. So I sat in the back. And it's probably like the drive to the dumpster is probably like, I don't know, like maybe a minute or two in pure darkness though. And that shit's scary. That shit's scary because it should get dark as fuck. And imagine having to walk by yourself.
Yeah, in the woods at night.
There's really nothing to be afraid of. as far as the only thing you should be afraid of is animals. Because you can speculate about what's in the woods, but like, what are the chances of that happening to you?
I don't know, but it just the thought of it is crazy frightening. Just to be out in the woods by yourself, and not only like bears too, right? Bears, depending on where you live, bears, wolves,
Fucking coyotes. I would hear them in Mississippi, and they would come across the house because the house was right next to the woods. Sometimes they would walk on the outside of the house.
How many, like, because how big is a coyote? Look it up real quick. Like, how big? Like, as far as weight?
I think I don't know, might be bigger than a dog.
You think so? Because, like, how many coyotes you think you can solo?
I don't know. You know, they weigh up to 20 to 50 pounds.
I mean, 50 pounds don't seem like a lot. But
yeah, I think I'll a coyote, I'll kill one. For sure, I'll kill one. But if a pack comes,
so
that's when it gets
1-on-1,
bad.
what's your percentage of winning 1-on-1 with a coyote?
Oh, I don't really know shit about coyotes, but just ego driven, I'll say I'll fuck that coyote up.
10 out of 10 times?
10 out of 10. I'm not gonna just let them kill me. I'll fucking I'll choke that motherfucker to death. I am legend style. I'll do something. So, but I think when it comes to a pack, it'd be a lot more difficult. And like, a coyote's one thing, but a wolf ain't fucking with a wolf.
Yeah,
a wolf. Like, I didn't really know these motherfuckers get that big. Them motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah, I thought they were dog size.
Yeah, I thought they were just normal, like Buddy.
Yeah,
like the one my brother-in-law has. But when I looked it up, them motherfuckers are huge.
Yeah, and they get bigger, like in Russia and like the Siberian like wilderness up there where it's really, really cold. Those motherfuckers are big. But I got into an argument one time. Not an argument, but into just like a debate with one of the dudes I work with in a previous job that I used to have. This motherfucker said that he'll rather fight on 1-on-1. He said, I'd rather fight a bear than a wolf. I said, you're crazy.
Oh, hell no.
Why the hell would you? There's no way. Like
a bear is over. Like a bear, you're at his mercy.
He said black bear, but even black bear, like black bear is probably the smallest, right?
I think the most dangerous is polar, right?
Polar
bears.
Yeah, and then it'd be grizzly, and then black bear.
Black bears.
But I told him, black bears are like what, 400 or 500 pounds or something like that. I don't. It's crazy, something like that, right? And there's no way you're gonna. There's no scenario where you win, unless you have a gun. But even then, 100%, I'd rather fight a wolf than a bear. If it was either or, and I probably still get pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they'll fuck them up because they're 200 to 600 pounds.
Yeah,
5 to 6 feet long.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way you survive. A wolf, you have a chance.
Let's see what a wolf is. A wolf is 40 to 175 pounds.
Yeah, see. I'd much rather take on a wolf. If it's a pack of wolves, it's over.
Yeah,
there's no
scenario over, but
there's no scenario either.
Can they climb? No.
And bears can.
No, I know bears can, but wolves?
Wolves? I don't think so.
Maybe if you get on like
if it's a pretty like straight up tree, I don't think so. I mean, they can get up there. They got hops, but
they got hops.
A bear, there's...
It's crazy. Those big motherfuckers can climb trees. And I seen videos of them. Fucking...
Yeah.
Video game shit.
I was watching a video of... like, people are crazy. I don't understand how you don't panic. There's 2 different videos. One was from Mexico. Well, I want to say he's from Mexico. But... They were on a trail and there's a black bear walking up to this girl. But there's like 3-4 girls separated like within a few feet of each other. And the bear was walking up to one of them and she was just recording him. And the bear was like kind of like testing her to see whether or not he didn't know. He was like curious. He didn't know whether or not she was.
It's right here.
Yeah, look at this.
No. Hey.
Look at that. He's like, what?
Yeah,
like how you recording?
I mean, we can't really do shit right there. Might as well get a selfie in. Fuck it.
Like, you got serious balls to be recording.
Okay, but oh shit.
Look at that. And he's like nipping at her to see whether or not like
do I want this bitch,
food?
huh?
Yeah, like, look, she a snack?
Yeah, I'll fuck you up right now, bitch.
Or maybe he just a little horn
What
dog.
does he
or
have on
something.
his ear?
It's a tag. I think they tagged him.
Oh, what the hell? They be tagging bears? But see, that bear is kind of small, right? He'll fuck her up for sure. But if you have to fight, I'd rather fight one of those, right? Instead of them fat motherfuckers.
Like,
He got a little nibble in.
You see, look.
It's like, hey, bitch, don't run away.
See that? I have.
Oh yeah, speak Spanish.
Yeah, like what the hell, nah.
Look at she got a selfie in.
Like
Who
props
can
to
say
her,
they
though.
got a selfie with a bear though?
That's what I'm saying.
In the wild.
Hell nah. As soon as my ass makes contact with a bear, I'm going the other direction. There's no way I'm walking towards it for photos.
But we don't know if they walk towards it.
But I'm just saying, me personally,
Oh.
I'm going the other way. There's no way I'm staying still doing any of that.
Because instinct, I would want to run, huh? But you can't run.
Yeah, you can't run.
You have to just backstep and keep your eye on it. But is it bears? I think it's any animal, right? They say you're not supposed to look it in the eye.
Or also, I'm not sure 100%, but there's this dude that used to in Africa. He would try to get he was trying to get accepted by a pack of lions, and whenever they would eat, he would get off the truck and he would walk towards them. And then he said that you never want to point your body towards the pack because that shows aggression. And so he would walk at them at an angle, and then once he heard like them make a noise, he would take a few steps back and he would sit down and he would sit there and let them eat. And he'd say that this is how he did the like introduction, so that they would get accustomed to him, and they wouldn't say, "Oh, this dude's a threat." And there's this one time where the male lion was just chilling, like underneath some brush. He was just chilling, and he did that thing. He was by himself. He walked up to him and sat down, like not crazy close, but maybe like 20, 30 yards or something like that from him. And he sat down, and then all of a sudden, like he was probably chilling for a little bit, and then all of a sudden the male lion stood up, and then he started walking towards him, and then he started like picking up the pace, and then this dude started panicking, and he took off running, and he jumped into the truck. But the lion wasn't running towards him; he was running towards the female lions that had just made a kill, and he heard it, and he's like, "Oh, it's like dinner time type shit."
Yeah.
And this dude ran, and he's like, "Oh, I fucked up," because now in his head he's like, "Oh, he's big dog now." Like he knows that
He's a bitch.
Yeah, so he said that he fucked up by running, and I'm not sure. I can't remember what happened afterwards, but just the balls to have to do that is crazy.
Well, what's the point? Just science?
I think learning
Just to see if it's possible.
to get accepted.
But it's because some people really love animals and they'll take it to the extreme. You know, like what was that guy's name? The famous guy.
For bears?
Famous guy for
Oh, you're talking about the crocodile hunter?
Yeah, the crocodile hunter.
The freaking the Australian guy? What's his name?
I don't remember his name, but and now his son is the one who's doing the same thing. He's hanging with animals and doing all that shit.
Damn,
But that's tight.
I forgot his name.
But lions, like lions are gangsters too, because they fight a lot over territory and shit like that. Like the documentary I remember you told me to watch, I don't remember what it was called, but where they basically go to war with other fucking group of lions, and it's all for territory.
They I forgot what it was called, but it was 4 brothers, and it was like these lions were all males, and they were like legendary as far as like how many lions they killed, because they were the kings, because and they were labeled by the kings, by the people who were following them. The documentary. Yeah, and they would they I think they squared up with 2 other lions, like the ones who they were towards the territory they were trying to invade. two of them I think squared up with them with the other two, and the other two fucked them up, and then they left. And then they left and they came back with their other two brothers, and then they came all together, and they fucked one of the dudes up. Like
yeah, one of the famous ones, huh?
one of the lions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the famous ones.
And like they bit his back and like broke his spine, and then he couldn't move his rear legs. He couldn't move. He was just there, and they kept and the crazy thing about lions, when they fight, they'll bite your balls off. Like if they get the opportunity to, hyenas too.
Yeah,
They'll-
that's like chimpanzees and shit. Because they know how you need them. Well, they say like chimpanzee will rip off your fingers or bite them bitches off because they know you'll eat them. They'll rip your arms off and shit. Like that's just pretty much like it's just territory. Even chimpanzees too.
I've seen documentaries on chimpanzees, gorillas, ants. From the Lion King, was Pumbaa and the other guy? What's the other guy? Pumbaa's the pig, huh?
I don't know. I don't remember.
But you remember like the two guys from Lion King,
The main ones?
pig. No, so how the one was the original one. There was the baby, Simba was the king, or Simba was
I don't remember.
Simba was the baby lion. His dad was Mufasa or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Maybe I'm fucking that up. But I was trying to see if you remembered the pig that like they were basically his guides or whatever when he ran away. Was the pig and the other rat looking motherfucker?
One that hold the baby up like this?
No,
that
was a monkey. I'm
Oh.
saying like never mind, because I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I seen documentaries on chimpanzees and how they they fight for territory as well. And when it came to like who's the dominant male, if I seen one time for the leader of the pack, the male, they fucked him up. Like they jumped his ass with it was a bunch of the younger freaking chimps, and they beat that motherfucker to death. And I'm like, it's crazy how violent the world is, even in the animal kingdom. But it's like just nature, but it's you never until you actually see it, you don't see how actually like savage the shit is.
Yeah, it's a lot crazier than what people may think. I remember too when we were watching that documentary, I think people were saying like, why wouldn't you help the animal? Because you could still save them, but it's like you have to let nature play its course, huh? You have to just let it be. You're just an observer. So it is what it is. I remember the people when they've been following those lions since they were babies. And when they died, they cried because they had an emotional attachment to that lion. But I remember those fucking lions were fucking up everybody, and it was a well documentary because it showed you their territory. It made it seem like gang shit. The same thing with chimpanzees. If a chimpanzee if you can't pull up to another set of chimpanzees, you can't do it because they'll fuck you up. They'll kill you. And I think there was a story where a chimpanzee was accepted. Remember, was that a movie or was that a documentary? Remember when he was
to a different pack?
Yeah, to a different pack. And at first, the older one didn't want him.
I don't remember that one.
He didn't want him, and he would fucking it was only one chimpanzee taking care of him, and then eventually he grew on him, and he started carrying the little baby on his back.
Oh, that was because his mom died. His mom died because they got invaded by another chimpanzee.
This is a documentary, or
yeah, it's a documentary. Yeah. I think it was the same one.
I think it was the one by Disney. I think it's called Chimpanzee, something like that. Mm-hmm. Another thing is I watched a movie called Project Nim. I think it was called Project Nim, and it was about people raising a chimpanzee in like normal, like a human, and how they had him so accustomed to living like a normal human, whatever. And eventually, when the project, they had to let him go. And I always remember like, damn, like the things they do to these animals, because these animals don't forget. There was this whole thing of like, he knew his owner and everything. and as he was growing older, he was getting dangerous, and they were teaching him. The whole purpose was because they were teaching him to communicate, and they believe that they can teach him. They believe chimpanzees are intelligent enough to communicate, and they were trying to teach him a certain amount of words with sign language. So he would be able to say sorry, he would be able to say thank you or stuff like that. And as he was getting older, he would do shit like hit them, and he would get mad and he would hit them, and they would tell him no, like no, you can't do that, whatever. And he would say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And eventually they had to let go of him, and they sent him where all the other chimpanzees were, and they said that he was hella depressed. He was hella depressed, and they said you can't do that. That's one of the most fucked up shit you can do, because you raised him. He's so accustomed to a way of life, and you just changing that on him. And then he stayed there, and he was depressed. And then I think like after I think a couple of years, that his owner came back to visit him, and the fucking chimpanzee recognized him and ran up to him, and they were playing, and he was hugging them and kissing them and stuff like that. And he left, and the chimpanzee, they were saying that the chimpanzee thought he was coming back to get him, to save him, to get him out of there. So he was hella happy, but then he left. And I think they said he only came back to visit one time, and then that was it. He didn't come no more. But it's crazy how intelligent chimpanzees are, how they don't forget and they remember.
Yeah, I whenever I see animals in captivity, it just seems wrong. Like when I see whales, or like shit that belongs in, every animal belongs in the wild, but I think I'm not sure what the reasoning why people started zoos and stuff. I'm sure some people wanted it so that it, like as far as educational purposes type shit, but I think it was more about money. And because everyone's gonna want to see freaking not everyone is gonna in their lifetime is gonna get a chance to see a whale or a freaking shark or whatever, right? Especially that close. So people are gonna pay for that. So I'm sure that's the reason why they did it, is for money, not just for educational shit. But it just seems fucked up to cage someone, because it's like, what if they cage a human? People wouldn't be for that, right?
Like, but it's because it's just the way they view animals. So I've heard like the people saying the way we should view animals is us in a cage, and go visit where they're at, and it's like somebody driving through or some shit like that. I don't know, but I don't even know how that would play out.
I don't know. I don't know. Just it seems kind of fucked up, because I'm sure it does. It doesn't do them any good to be locked up, because they don't belong in a cage. And I've seen people fuck with the animals, and when they're in cages, people fuck with them. And I seen a video of this kid got a little too close. He wasn't a kid. He was probably in his late teens or early 20s, and that dude grabbed his leg. Have you ever seen that video where it's not a chimp? It was the red ones. What are those red monkeys called?
The red ones. Orangutans?
Orangutans. Yeah, the orangutan grabbed his leg, and he was holding on to his leg, and the dude was trying to break free. But those motherfuckers are strong.
Yeah,
they don't look strong, huh? Monkeys don't look strong, but you remove all their hair,
and they're buff as shit.
They're yoked.
Yeah,
fuck that. Monkeys are scary too. I wouldn't fuck with a monkey, but the things I've seen people who have those baby monkeys in their home, and they wear diapers and all that shit, and they get haircuts and all that.
Yeah,
and they look tight. They look like a pet. They look tight.
They got them all. They got chains on them and shit. I remember I seen a video where this fucking, I don't know what it was. I think it was some type of monkey. There was a dude sitting down, and the monkey came and like grabbed his hair or some shit and ripped a part of his fucking scalp out, like a fucking chunk off. Like he just ran up and yanked that shit, and you could see like his shit was peeled, kind of like a fucking orange. And I'm like, what the hell? Like you never seen nothing like that, especially by the size of that motherfucker was small, and to be able to do that, That motherfucker was crazy. And then have you ever seen like videos of where they bring the monkeys food? They bring them Twinkies or shit like that in huge boxes, and these motherfuckers start. Everybody runs up, and they be getting two and putting one in their mouth, and then they take off running. It's funny how, and they know how to open everything, the wrappers and shit.
Yeah, I think it's in Asia. Places in Asia, there's like a big monkey problem, and people, a lot of the tourists that go there will like feed the monkeys, or like sometimes the monkeys will just come up to you, and if you're eating whatever, snatch whatever the fuck you got in your hand, and they'll start eating it. I've seen people get their phones snatched, their wallets, purses, whatever. Those monkeys don't give a fuck. If they feel like if it's worth taking, they're gonna take it. And good luck trying to get that motherfucker back.
There's an island, I think it's called Monkey Island, and it's well, back I don't know, back in I don't know if it was like 30 years ago, something along those lines. There maybe more like 40, 50, where they were doing all these experiments on chimpanzees, and that was on the documentary I watched. And like how they would like all the shit they did. I think they were trying to like find a cure for something. I'm not sure if it was like AIDS, cancer, something, but something like that. They were trying, so they would inject them with a disease on purpose to try to see if we can heal it. And they did that for a while until they actually said that was cruel. There was a whole case on the shit that this is cruel. We shouldn't be doing this. And then eventually they were like, okay, we got to shut this down. So they shut it down, but they had all the fucking monkeys. And they're like, what the fuck are we going to do with these monkeys? So they took these monkeys and they put them on an island. And people to this day, that's Monkey Island. It's just filled with monkeys because I think they had babies, and the motherfuckers are very, very aggressive. And they say they'll kill you easily. You can't step foot in there. And so people come in boats and they'll feed them. They'll throw food from the water. They'll throw food at them, and they'll eat them. They'll eat it. And they're just it's like a place just to.
Is it a big ass island or no?
I don't know how big it is, but it's I think it's a good size.
Because I wonder if there's enough food for them to live.
Well, if there wasn't, they'd die, right?
Well, they'd probably start eating each other.
Think so?
Wouldn't put it past them.
Do chimpanzees bury their own?
Fuck no.
No?
No, humans are the only ones that bury them.
I thought there was like an animal who buries their dead.
No, not that I know of.
That'd be interesting though. They say about fucking Bigfoot.
They say that they think that's why we haven't found any of their bones.
But you would think we'd eventually find a gravesite, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know 100% about Bigfoot. It just seems like we would have found something by now.
I seen a video of a dude going back to bears, of a dude who got attacked by a bear, and his whole face was
Dangling,
fucked up. I was like, damn. Like his eye was damn near out, and his nose is gone. And I don't know if he told the person to record. I'm pretty sure, because the person who recording seemed scared as shit because he was recording and you could tell. Well, who wouldn't be, right? But he survived. He survived the bear attack, and he had to reconstruct his face. I think they did a lot of surgeries to bring his face back, but that shit was bad.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember. It's always scary though when you watch that stuff, when you see the aftermath.
Well, the image was hella graphic. It's not this one. It was this one. I probably can't show it. Damn, man.
That doesn't look real.
But it is. And
damn,
that's bad. Yeah, I can't show that. But I remember seeing that video, and the video was even worse. Because he was like kind of talking.
Oh yeah, I don't want to watch it.
Well, the video is we can't show it anyways. But yeah, that shit was crazy.
So today at work, I was talking to one of our tool guys that sells those tools and stuff, and I told him, hey, if you came home, he lives by himself, I'm pretty sure, but he's like, told him if you came home today and your front door was unlocked. You went inside, and there's a stranger in your house, and he's taking a shit. What are you gonna do? Does he get a pass, or you beat his ass, or what do you do? Because it's like, if a dude's taking a shit, what do you do?
Do you attack him straight up,
Like on
or
the
do you let
shitter?
him finish?
Or do you
Because that's
say,
kind of nasty, right?
do you let's say he has a door. I told him, let's say if he has a door.
You tell him, pinch it, motherfucker, pinch it.
I told him, what do you do? Right? And he's like, well, I would tell him, hey, hurry up and wipe and get out of my house. That's what he said, right? And then he told me this story where he's like, it's funny that you tell me this, because he said, I know a guy, and he told me that his son, they live out in the middle, like in the country, so it's like far away from the city. So it's weird to if you will be able to hear a car pull up, you would be able to hear rattles and stuff because it's really quiet. And he said he's upstairs sleeping. So he said my buddy's kid is
By himself?
By himself.
Okay.
He's sleeping upstairs, and it's like 2 a.m, and he hears someone jimmying the front door, and he grabs his shotgun and runs down, and he's butt ass naked. Right?
The kid is
butt ass naked.
And how old is the kid?
Late 20s.
Oh, okay.
And he's sleeping naked, I guess, whatever. And he told his dad, I don't know, Dad, like I didn't know what to do. I grabbed the shotgun, I went downstairs, I scared him away. And the dude's like, so you scared him away with your small penis or with the gun? And he's like, I think both. That shit was hella funny how he said it.
I thought you were gonna say he came in.
No, he said I scared him away. And his dad's like, with your small penis or with the shotgun? And then this shit, because it caught me hella off guard. I didn't think he was gonna say some shit like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's why it sucks. Sometimes I think too, like it would suck because like I sleep without my socks, and it just seems like when you have, if you're on go mode, I want to have my socks on for some reason. So I just think of like you're not properly like ready. That's why some of the things, like a lot of stories that happen with the break-ins, a lot of people say they were in their underwear or because they were sleeping. So that's when a lot of things happen.
Let's say this happened to you, right? You came into the house, nobody was here, and there's a random motherfucker, didn't steal nothing, didn't break nothing, he was just taking a shit. Like, what do you do? I told him, like, do you give him a pass? Like, hey, just wipe your shit, wipe your ass, get the hell out of here. Like, what do you do? What would you do if a random motherfucker at the house taking a shit?
Well, if he's taking a shit, I would hurry up and go get my gun. And then I would let him finish and I would have him drawn. So I would open the door and I'll have the door open while he's shitting and just point it at him because I don't want to kill him. I don't want to kill him, especially if he doesn't look like a threat. But I'll just have my gun point the whole time, let him finish, and then basically escort him out the house at gunpoint. And I'll tell him, don't ever come here again or I'll kill you. Because that's all you can. I don't want to kill somebody who's not a threat. I know some people say, "No, I'm shooting them," huh? But nah, that's not me. I only kill somebody if I have to, or it's super unknown. Like if somebody, I'd be like, if I don't shoot him, then I don't know what his intention is.
But it's like, how much damage can you do while he's shitting, though?
That's why. If you're shitting, then you're probably nothing. You probably don't have shit. You probably have to somehow make sure he don't have a weapon on him, a gun in his pants or something.
So long as you can see his hands.
Take your pants off, huh?
Well, if he had his pants, because like when people shit, a lot of times they'll put their pants all the way down. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, some people
like they'll sit down and they'll put their underwear, they'll put their pants all the way down to the floor. And I'm like, it just seems, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm weird because I just put them motherfuckers on top of my knees.
Yeah.
And that's where they stay.
I don't know. I think a lot of people.
I want to be ready, right? Earthquake, whatever. Just.
Oh shit!
You're out.
I remember. Our teacher used to tell us how to wipe properly. I'm like, what the heck?
In high school?
In high school, he said, I don't know how you guys are wiping, but apparently, if you wipe towards your duh, it's like bad. Like you can get something from that. I don't know how. I don't know what the hell he was talking about.
I think he meant for girls.
No, he was talking about everybody because he's like some of you guys don't even know how to wipe. And I don't even know how this topic came about. But he was saying basically you're supposed to wipe from the back to your back,
Front to
towards your
back.
back, towards
Front
your
to
back.
back.
Yeah, not the opposite way. Because he said something I don't know, but I'm like that's hella weird. But what would you do then? You would do the same thing?
Yeah, if he's shitting, if I'm by myself, he's shitting, I would have to just be like, hey, just finish this. Probably same shit.
Thank you for listening to the AB podcast. You can follow us in the links below. All our social medias are linked there. If you want to buy some merch, the merch that we're usually wearing in the podcast, you can buy it as well. The link will be below.